Hello. Harry Austin.
Hello, Harry. Welcome to the interview.
So that was a brilliant example of how to first introduce yourself in an interview. The handshake is one of the most integral things that you need to do, and you need to always make sure that you're smiling. And this is exactly what he did, and it's very effective, and I think it's the perfect start to an interview.
Hey yo, boss man. Sorry I was late.
Nice to meet you.
Too slow.
Well, you're 15 minutes late, so that's not going to help.
Traffic was late. Let's get some food as well.
Call ahead.
So this was a terrible way to make a first impression at an interview. He turned up 15 minutes late, which is possibly one of the worst things you can do. You need to make sure at least you're 15 minutes early. And he didn't go for the handshake. He did a scuba dive. Terrible mistake to make. And never use informal terms with whoever the interviewer is. So don't use boss man, anything like that. Just be using more professional terms.
So why do you want to join this course?
I've always had a strong interest in media, and stemming back as far as I can really recognise.
Yeah.
But yeah, media's always been there, and it's always around, and
Okay.
it's becoming a more present thing, especially in digital world. So
So this was a perfect way to answer the first question. He said that he was passionate about media, and that's the most important thing that you need to do. You need to show the interviewer that you actually want to be there, that you're actually eager to be in the course. So what he did there is absolutely perfect.
So why do you want to join this course?
I need a qualification.
Can you elaborate?
It's legally here and I need the qualification. And media looks like a fun thing.
Okay.
So that was a very bad answer for something in an interview like that. He just said that he wanted to be there because he legally had to be there and for his qualification, whereas he didn't seem like he actually wanted to be there, which is definitely something you don't want to do when you're going for an interview. You always need to make sure that you're eager and ready to go.
So what areas of this media interest you, and who inspires you?
well, I'm interested in cinematography and directing. So DOP,
Okay.
director of photography, is probably the best role for me. I feel because it's a nice mix. But from both worlds, from directing, I'm really inspired by Edgar Wright because he uses rhythm in everything he does, and he somehow makes camera movements become move with the piece, which you don't really see a lot. So
Okay.
This was excellent. He mentioned some of his influences, so Edgar Wright, and this is exactly what you need to do. So it'll impress the interviewer because it shows that you have knowledge in the subject already, and it also shows that you have keen interest and that you are looking up the ladder of media. So I think that's very important.
What channels of media are you interested in? Who
I
inspires
like
you?
YouTube.
Okay.
YouTube's funny, yeah. TGF. Oh, those boys get me every time, man. They're funny. I want to do like that. Just some funny skits.
This was terrible. He cut off the interviewer. Never, ever, ever cut off the interviewer. And then don't also say that your future ambition is to be a YouTuber. Because they won't like that at all.
So what areas of this media interest you, and who inspires you?
I'm interested in music.
Yeah.
I like being able to piece together certain sounds to try and create a good melody or something.
Okay.
Here's another good example of what you should say. So he said something that isn't going to make you look like you're going to be unreliable or you're just someone who's very irresponsible or something like that. So he said that he enjoys music and he enjoys making music. So again, it also links to the course because it's showing that he has a creative mindset and something that is very useful when it comes to applying to that course.
What interests have you got outside of the media industry?
I like partying. Yeah. Your raves. I went to this rave last week. Thetford Forest. Sick, man. And the police started rolling up and I had to dip out there.
Anything else, music?
I mean,
Video.
I like FIFA. FIFA's always good.
Alright.
Yeah, so this wasn't great. I mean, sure, they probably are your interests, but they're not something that you should be mentioning in a professional interview. So just mention stuff that are sort of related to the course and something that makes you seem like you're going to be reliable if they come to choose you.
I feel like one of my main weaknesses is I tend to worry about what could go wrong rather than what's going right.
Okay.
I feel like that takes away from what I'm making,
Yeah.
and it tends to oversimplify a shot or have a boring shot in the piece, which obviously is in our industry isn't really acceptable. But I feel as though I've taken steps to improve this skill over previous projects,
Okay.
and hopefully can work on it moving forward.
So mentioning that you have a weakness is what you really, really should be doing. It's brilliant what he said as well. He said that he was worrying too much, which isn't necessarily a bad weakness to have anyway. And on top of that, he then also mentioned that he's working to combat this weakness of his. So not only is he mentioning a weakness which isn't necessarily the worst thing you can have, and it still makes him look hireable, he also said that he's working on it, so it shows that he has the initiative and the drive to be able to keep going and combat everything that his flaws.
Do you have any weaknesses and like
No.
how? Okay. Well, I mean, everyone has weaknesses.
I mean, no. That's why you should hire me, because I ain't got no weaknesses.
Never say you have no weaknesses. Everybody has a weakness. No matter what you say, you definitely do. And if you say you don't have any weakness, it's going to make you look terrible. So don't do it. Terrible idea.
Do you have any questions?
No, that's all, thanks.
Okay.
So this perfect example of an interview, it shows that we all have flaws in an interview. He didn't ask any questions, so that's the one mistake that he made. If he'd have asked a couple questions that would have been relevant to the job, that would have been not about the money, it would have been a perfect interview. So it shows we all slip up, but apart from that, this guy had made an absolute perfect example of an interview, and it's something that everyone should be looking at for how to perform in such situations.
Do you have any questions?
How much am I going to make? Because I need... My landlord wants money and I need money.
Okay. Well, it's nice to meet you.
Okay. Well,
Bye.
see you in a couple of weeks when I got the job.
Okay, this was a bad question to ask. Now, it's always good to ask questions at an interview. It makes you sound eager and it makes you sound like you actually want to be there. But first of all, ask relevant questions, because first of all, he was asking how much money he was going to make. He's on a course. He's not going to be earning money. And second, asking a question anyway about earning money is quite a bad thing to ask anyway, because it makes you sound like you're just there for the money. So don't do that.